My purpose here, we're doing some pre-production for the musical Rock of Ages. So that's what I'm here in the Philippines doing, playing the part of Stacee Jaxx, and in this musical called Rock of Ages, which will be at the RCBC Plaza from starting June 15 right up to July 8.
Alright, and you've been doing it on Broadway, I believe?
I did the show on Broadway, yes, and I did the show also on the US tour, first national US tour.
And how is it like?
Oh, I love the show. I mean, I love this show. It's probably the most fun I've ever had doing any show. I'm playing the part of Stacee Jaxx, who's this rock star who's supposed to be the biggest rock star in the world, the lead singer of this band called Arsenal. And this guy starts to believe his own hype, and that's when things start to go wrong for him. But he's a central character that basically is the antagonist in this whole piece. He's the one that creates the problems, and the drama unfolds when Stacee Jaxx hits the scene. It all seems all very nice and beautiful, and then suddenly Stacee Jaxx enters the arena, and things go wrong everywhere.
We were told that Tom Cruise watched you to draw inspiration for the part that he's doing.
Well, it just so happens to be, well, that's true in a way, because I was with this national tour. We were in Los Angeles, and we did Rock of Ages at the Pantages Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. And it was Tom Cruise's first day of rehearsals as Stacee Jaxx. And so the director, Adam Shankman, took him and Katie Holmes to see our show at the Pantages. So his first day of rehearsals, he had rehearsals at the studio, and then came to see us, and he came to see what I was doing with Stacee Jaxx, and he wanted to meet with me. So, you know, I gave him a few pointers about how to play this role, but of course that's Adam Shankman's job to show him how to do it, and Tom Cruise would have found his own character, I'm sure. I mean, this, you know, being Stacee Jaxx, it's a very complex character. He lives in, especially in film, you know, he had a chance to expand on the character and do his own thing with it. So he's, from what I've heard, he's amazing in the films. And but when I met him, he's very gracious and very sweet and humble, and you know, we had a good time meeting with him, and you know, I'm sure that he's going to surprise everybody and show everyone how good he is as a rock star.
Did it feel surreal getting to talk to him?
Oh, totally. There was a part in the show where I was falling through the audience, and I found where Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes was sitting, and I basically fell at his feet. And then as I was climbing up over the chair, I kind of looked at him and I was like, oh my God, that's Jerry Maguire. I'm pointing fingers with Maverick, and we were doing this thing, we were playing with each other at that point, and that was, yeah, that's surreal. You think, you know, those people are untouchable. You never think you'd meet those people, let alone they'd actually have an interest in what you're doing. So it was, yeah, it was definitely a highlight.
From where you began to what you're doing now, did you ever see it unfolding like this?
Not with so much makeup, definitely. But you know, I've always wanted to be a rock star all my life, you know, and I've wanted to be a musician all my life, and so I think this is actually a very natural progression. Okay, playing a rock star in a rock show, as well, you know, because I'm an actor as well as a musician. So this kind of seems natural in a way. Makeup, not so natural, and the costume, not so natural. But playing a rock star in a rock show, I think it feels right and it feels good, and I love doing it.
This look kind of suits you, but what would you normally wear?
Well, I definitely wear less makeup. And probably a bit more clothes. But my hair's short at the moment, so you can't really tell.
Okay.
But
it's kind of real.
Yeah, kind of real. Of course, you know, the story is set in the 80s.
Yeah.
So it's all we're part of something called the hair bands, you know, and hair rock. It's all about the hair. The longer the hair, the higher the hair, the closer to God, they say. Whereas I'm not that flamboyant with my looks.
With your style.
I'm shy like it, but you know, I'm kind of getting used to this look. I think maybe I'll get more outrageous as the time goes on.
You'll grow your hair, like Russell Brand, maybe?
Oh, I love Russell's hair, yeah. Well, actually, I had my hair for a long time, but then I just got sick of it, so I cut it short. But now I miss it. When I put that wig on, I kind of think, I actually do miss my long hair, so I might grow it back. Who knows?
Do you feel that maybe you're you're gonna be too connected to the role that people won't see you as anything else after this once you're done with it?
Well, I don't think so. I think because Stacee Jaxx is so different to Mig Ayesa in so many ways that I think it'll actually surprise them. They won't believe that it's me on stage. I think that's what I'm trying to achieve. The fact that I can't believe that's Mig, that creature we see on stage is Mig. I don't think they'll see that. It's because it's so far removed from the Stacee Jaxx character. It's all acting. It's all an act. So.
Could you maybe expound on that? What are the like 3 basic differences between you and your
3 basic differences? Okay.
Why you're saying it's gonna be so different?
Let me put it this way. Stacee Jaxx is the rock star I was always afraid to be, and also frightened of being, because Stacee Jaxx lives in his own world where he becomes the center of his own universe, and he starts to believe his own hype. He loses all sense of reality, and I think if you don't have any reality in your life, a sense of grounding, you can totally go off the rails. And you know, you see it so often. It becomes a cliche of people who believe their own hype, who enter a world where everything doesn't make sense, and they lose their minds. And I don't want to do that. You know, I live in this world. I live with people. I want to exist in this world. I want to live with family. I don't want them to hate me. You know, and Stacee Jaxx has found a way of alienating everybody. Everybody loves him because he's a super megastar, but he alienates everybody.
So he's very alone at the top.
Say what?
He's very alone at the top.
Yeah, very alone, very alone. And you know, I think like people should never be alone. It's not good. It's not healthy. So that's how I find myself different with Stacee Jaxx, and that's one big difference. Second, I guess also would be. I think that's a big difference. I think that's the main thing. I would love to be able to be, you know, as successful as Stacee Jaxx. That would be really great, but I'm not yet. And another thing as well is, you know, he treats people without much respect. I'm quite the opposite. You know, I would like to think that people think of me as a nice person, as a gracious person, and a giving person, whereas Stacee's all take. I would hate that.
Okay. What excites you most about working here in the Philippines for the next 2 months? You're doing the show here for 2 months.
It's a chance for me to actually touch base with my roots, with my family, spend a lot of time with them, decent time with them, because I only spend, normally it's about a few days or a week or a couple weeks at max. Here I get to spend a really good time with them. My family are flying from all over the world to be here, having a family reunion.
There are 2 months.
Yeah, we're having a family reunion here, so my mom and dad from Australia are coming, my brother from Perth, my cousins from Singapore, from Hong Kong, from the United States. They're all coming, and it's a way of bringing us together. And also it's a chance to really also, you know, I haven't really done a lot of work in the Philippines. I don't really know a lot of people here. I don't know the scene here. And that's something that I think is really important for me to touch base with and to get real with. You know, because I live in New York. I'm working in London right now. I've lived in LA for a while, and I grew up in Australia. Yet actually, all over the world, but where I was born is here. I was born in Manila, and I really want to get in touch with the scene here. So I have a lot of friends here. It's now time to connect the dots, you know, of all these people that I've met through the years, and trying to make it work for me here.
So you see yourself staying longer after you...
Well, unfortunately, I got to go back to London. I'm doing a musical in London at the moment called Thriller, live, a Michael Jackson musical in London. So I got to go back contractually for that. So unfortunately, I can't stay longer than what we planned. However, I would love to come back. I'd love to come back. I'd love to come back for a reason or for a purpose. You know, I just released an album, and I'd love to be able to showcase that around the place and tour with it. You know, I made such great musician friends here too. We're talking about doing a concert here as well, so I'd love to do that.
You mentioned those musician friends. Who would you like to work with?
Well, I've worked with the Dawn quite a bit. You know, and I'm working with Jet Pangan here in Rock of Ages. He's one of the stars of the show, and we talked about maybe doing something together. It'd be really cool. Nioy Balante. I'm a huge fan of Nioy Balante.
Very diverse artist.
Yes, I know, but he's a young guy. He's dynamic. musically, he's one of the most talented people I've ever met, and his sensibility is very close to how I write. So I'm very excited to be working with him on this show, but I'm also excited to do something beyond that with him.
How about Filipino ladies or celebrities?
I'll tell you what, I'm spoiled for choice in this show because I'm working also with Vina Morales, and Vina is pretty amazing, I gotta say.
Really strong vocals.
Really strong, so you never know, maybe we can work something out together. I would love to do a duet with Vina Morales, that'd be awesome.